Hello everyone, my name is Joseph and welcome back to the Popsicle Night channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Please take a second to click the like button if you like this video or hit the thumbs down if you don't. Also, if you enjoy the contents of this channel, please subscribe if you haven't already. This video is sponsored by PTCGO the best place for you to get PTCGO code cards. Are you looking to complete your Pokemon card collection online for the latest set? PTCGO has everything you need. Please use my code NIGHT22 at checkout so you can get a 5% discount. Help yourself out with the discount, and thank you for helping support the content I create in this channel and for helping out PTCGO. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at Obstagoon from the Fusion Strike set. Obstagoon is a stage 2 Pokemon with 170 HP, 2 retreat cost, no resistance, and is weak to grass. It has 2 attacks. The first one is Silence. For 1 dark energy, it will deal 30 damage, and then you can choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks to disable it during your opponent's next turn. While the effect of this attack can easily be negated if your opponent moves their Pokemon out of the active spot, on the other hand, this can still be useful against Pokemon that only has 1 attack. Not only will you deal chip damage, but you can technically stall by preventing your opponent from attacking. And this attack can set up for Obstagoon's second attack, Merciless Strike. For 1 dark energy, it will deal 60 plus damage. However, if your opponent's active Pokemon already has any damage counters on it, this attack will deal 150 damage instead. In most cases, this attack can pretty much 2-hit KO any Pokemon in the game, and this attack is what makes this Obstagoon great. And dealing the initial damage counter on your opponent's Pokemon is also very important to keep Obstagoon attacking for 150 damage. This prerequisite can easily be met because, first of all, Obstagoon's pre-evolution, Galarian ZIGZAGOON, has the headbutt tantrum ability. If you play it from your hand to the bench, you can put 1 damage counter on one of your opponent's Pokemon. You can reuse this ability with the help of the Scoop Up Net. Additionally, I also included the INTELEON with the quick shooting ability. Once per turn, you can put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. Not only does this set up for Obstagoon's attack, it also helps fix the math in most cases, allowing Obstagoon to technically 2-hit KO even VMAX Pokemon. Since Obstagoon is a stage 2, finding its evolution line using evolution incense and rare candy can be a bit difficult. However, along with the quick shooting INTELEON, we can also take advantage of the Drizzile and INTELEON with the Shady Dealings ability. If you evolve into Drizzile from your hand, you can find 1 trainer card from your deck, or if you evolve into INTELEON, you can get 2 trainer cards instead. And you may be able to reuse these abilities with the help of the Scoop Up Net. To help prevent your opponent from healing the damage counters on their Pokemon, I've included 1 copy of Mimikyu with the Heal Jamming ability, which prevents your opponent from healing their bench Pokemon. And I also have 1 copy of the Dynastry Hill Stadium, and this one prevents both players from healing their Pokemon while this is in play. I did include 1 copy of the Galarian Obstagoon with the Wicked Ruler ability. Once during your turn, you can have your opponent discard cards from their hand until they only have 4 left. I thought I would try this out in combination with the other Obstagoon because its ability can be very disruptive, and it can also attack for 180 damage. For 3 colorless energy, Knuckle Impact is a bit expensive, but coupled with its ability and the availability of this attack still makes it a good inclusion in my opinion. And finally, Snorlax will help with drawing more cards with its Gormandize ability. As for the other cards worth noting, I have Level Ball, Quick Ball, Switch, Boss's Orders, Marnie, and Professor's Research. And I also included the Galarian Breastplate in this build. If the Pokemon this card is attached to has the Galarian in its name, it takes 30 less damage from attacks, potentially increasing our Galarian Obstagoon's survivability. And since our main attacker only requires 1 energy to attack, I included 8 energies in this build. 4 basic dark energy, which can easily be recycled back to the deck with the help of the ordinary rod, and I also have 4 hiding energies, which gives our Obstagoon 0 retreat cost. Finally, I just had to have Pierce in this Obstagoon build just to keep the theme going. This allows you to search your deck for 1 energy card and or 1 dark type Pokemon. This is great for searching out our Obstagoon line as well as the energy we need. And that's pretty much it. The deck list will be in the description below, but enough talk, let's see if this Obstagoon build is any good. Let's have a good game. My opponent decides to go first. We are going second. We're going to start off with the Galarian ZIGZAGOON to go into the active. Unfortunately, we couldn't use its ability to deal damage counter on our opponent, and they're starting with a ZIGZAGOON as well. And there's another ZIGZAGOON, alright. And a Sabal. Curious. We do have access to Quick Balls, so we might be able to use that. And I'm thinking of getting Snorlax so I can Gormandize. I really do need to set up my other basics on the board. We do get a Sabal from the top deck, so that's really good. So let me get my Snorlax. Then all I have to do is attach the hiding energy. That will give us free retreats. And then we can Gormandize this turn. Alright, we get another level ball. And we have Obstagoon with a Wicked Ruler ability. Alright, so my opponent is focusing on a dark energy here, so it must be a dark type build. They have a rare candy, so they are using stage 2. Okay, they have an Inteleon. They're gonna get 2 trainer cards from their deck. For our next turn, at least we have Level Ball. I can evolve into Drizzile. Then we can start evolving into our Obstagoon and start attacking. But we need to set up more... Well, what's this? Looks like we have a mirror match here. Yeah, we're gonna find out whose deck is better. We're gonna use Professor's Research. At least Snorlax doesn't have... Well, okay, Alright, so all of our Pokemon have damage counters on it, and they are all within knockout range of their Obstagoon. So they have a really good start, my opponent does, and their board is filled with ZIGZAGOON ready to evolve. So my opponent definitely has the upper hand here. Let me get my Drizzile, and I could evolve into an Obstagoon. Let's see. Oh, that's right. I don't have a Raihan in this. Alright, well, I had to have Pierce, so I will get Pierce. We can get an energy from the deck and also another ZIGZAGOON so that we can build up our Obstagoon line. Our backup attacker. Let me get another Sobble to set up. So let me do the damage counter on our opponent's active. And, oh no! I made a mistake. I actually should have grabbed the Galarian Obstagoon that can attack for 1 energy. So I made a little boo-boo here. Okay. Well, what are we gonna do now? Might as well evolve into this Obstagoon. And I'm just gonna use Wicked Ruler. I can have them discard 2 of their cards. I don't know how much that will do, but we can't attack with Knuckle Impact right now. We don't have 2 energies. We need 3 energies on this Galarian Obstagoon to attack. Alright, well, that mistake might have cost us the game, but you know what? Let me retreat. Maybe we can get an energy on our next turn, and we can knock out this our opponent's active. Or maybe if we get a Drizzile, we can grab another trainer card, maybe a Marnie. That can help us through. If we can keep our Obstagoon alive, that can actually help us for the remainder of the game, which will allow us to disrupt our opponent, have them discard their cards from their hand. But yeah, they have all the cards they need. They have Scoop Up Net, so that they can keep reusing their Shady Dealings ability, which actually gives them access to a lot of trainer cards. They can evolve into other Obstagoons in their bench for setup. But as for us, we don't have anything. We can evolve into Galarian Linoon in our next turn, but that's pretty much it. And we have Quick Shooting Inteleon, and we actually need that to set up for Obstagoon, but then we don't have the Obstagoon to attack just yet. So, I don't know. We might have just lost the game because of that one mistake, but we are dealing with a... this is a 1-prize matchup, so it's going to take them a few more turns before they can win this game totally, so we could have a chance to recover here, but they're going to use Boss Order and get our Obstagoon in the active. they're gonna attack, but they don't knock it out quite yet because this Obstagoon has 170 HP, so they're just 10 HP shy of knocking it out, which is okay with me. We have another Obstagoon from our top deck, so let me just evolve this, play this, and I'll just continue to chip away at this active. Let's quick shooting the active again. And I'm just gonna retreat into this ZIGZAGOON and pass. That's all I can do right now. So if they have a boss, well, you know what? They have a scoop up net. All they have to do is use ZIGZAGOON once again, and then they're gonna knock out our Obstagoon. Well, there you have it, guys. This is how you play Obstagoon. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, that was a major mistake in the very beginning. I would swap out the Pierce for probably a Raihan instead. But yeah, just to keep the theme of this deck, I will stay faithful to my Pierce. I need to have Pierce in this Obstagoon build. So we're gonna go with it, see what happens here, and they're gonna Marnie me. So I don't actually mind that because our hand was dead. Now we have Drizzile, we have access to more trainer cards in the deck, and we also have Evolution Incense. And they're not even gonna be able to knock out our ZIGZAGOON because it did not have an initial damage on it. So now we can evolve into our Obstagoon. We have Mimikyu to prevent them from healing. So let's use Shady Dealings. And what we need is access to energy. So I'll just get Professor's Research. Might as well use this Quick Ball because we're going to discard everything anyways. And all we can grab is a Sobble, which I don't really mind. So let's use Professor, get our 7 cards. We get Galarian Chest Plate, which is nice. And we can evolve into another Obstagoon. And we have our energy to be able to attack. So let me equip this on my bench Obstagoon. And we can knock out our opponent's active. So I'll use Quick Shooting on this Obstagoon. And I'll just use Merciless Strike, knocking out my opponent's Galarian Obstagoon. So, alright, we're getting there. However, my opponent is still ahead in prize. They're 2 prizes ahead. And they're about to get 3 prizes at this point. However, they don't have any other Obstagoons built up, so we might be able to catch up, actually. They need access to rare candies, Evolution Incense, to evolve their other Obstagoons, but it is easy to attack with this Obstagoon because you only need energy. All you need to really worry about is evolve into the Stage 2s. So for any Stage 2, I actually like putting one Stage 1 of the Stage 2 pre-evolution because in case you run out of rare candies, at least you can use Ordinary Rod to get that Stage 1 and still be able to evolve into a Stage 2. So having one Linoon in this build is actually really useful. So they're going to knock out our Obstagoon, but we have another attacker to exchange. And I'm just going to use Evolution Incense and build up another Inteleon with a Quick Shooting. And I'll use it on this one because we can use the other Inteleon to Shady Dealings for 2 trainer cards. Let me draw in 2 more cards. And we actually needed that Ordinary Rod because we need access to our ZIGZAGOON. And I'll get this Obstagoon that might disrupt my opponent later on. So again, as of right now, they don't have a backup attacker, although they have 2 ZIGZAGOONs ready to go. So let me use up this ZIGZAGOON's headbutt tantrum, and I'm gonna start building up damage counter on this ZIGZAGOON because it has energy on it already. Although I can use my Quick Shooting to continue to chip away at maybe that Sobble. We have access to this Shady Dealing, so I'll get a boss just in case they escape. And I'll start setting up this Obstagoon line. So now it's going to be a lot harder for our opponent to knock out our Obstagoons moving forward. So I'm gonna use quick shooting, and I'm just gonna keep chipping away at these this Sobble. If they don't evolve this into Drizzile, we might just be able to knock it out. And yeah, I'm just gonna use Merciless Strike and knocking out my opponent's active for another prize. They are still ahead 2 prizes. They don't have any Obstagoon to evolve into yet. However, I don't know what they have on hand. They have Evolution Incense, alright. They need Rare Candy. So if they have a Drizzile, there's the Drizzile. But they need an Obstagoon and a Rare Candy. But even with the damage counter I have in the active, they'll have to use the quick shooting to deal 2 more damage to my active if they want to knock it out with their Obstagoon. But the fact that they're using Bruno means they don't have anything on hand, but they just might get it here. They're going to evolve into Linoon. But they need a Rare Candy and also an access to Galarian Obstagoon to evolve their active. And they'll need to use quick shooting to add damage counter on our active and to hit for 150 damage, because you know the Galarian Chestplate is actually a great addition to this build, making Obstagoon a little bit more bulkier, and it's a lot harder for my opponent to actually knock it out. But they're gonna quick shooting my Inteleon in the bench, and they're gonna pass. They don't have it. And we might just break even here and actually get ahead in prize, because what I'm going to do here is use my quick shooting Inteleon to target their Drizzile. I can deal 40 damage, making it 80, and I might just have to sacrifice a tool card on my ZIGZAGOON in the bench so that I can use its headbutt tantrum ability, knocking out their Drizzile for 1 prize. So now me and my opponent are even in prize, and I can attack this ZIGZAGOON in the active, and then we can get ahead in prize. So in terms of prize exchange, we're gonna be ahead actually during this turn, and we're gonna have a backup Obstagoon on our next turn, even if they do knock out my active. I could boss their Linoon in the bench, but let's see. Yeah, I could attack the active. I don't have any other means to deal damage counter on Linoon, so I'll just knock out the ZIGZAGOON, getting us ahead in prize. And yeah, at least we're ahead in prize. They could knock out my active, but at least we can retaliate with our next Obstagoon in line. We have Rare Candy. Unless they Marnie us here, we can use the quick shooting Inteleon to deal 40 damage to their active and just knock it out. There's the Marnie. But if they have access to other ZIGZAGOONs, then at least we'll still be ahead in prize. All we need is 2 more prizes. We just need to knock out their active and go from there. Figure out how we can knock out 1 more Pokemon after that. Okay, we got our Wicked Ruler Obstagoon back to our hand. Nothing much to go by with this one. We need a Rare Candy, and we can't use our Shady Dealings anymore. I think I've actually used up all the scoop up nets in the deck. What we need here is a good top deck. We need to pull in 2 more cards. But yeah, I think my opponent's going to be able to knock out my active here. They're going to quick shooting. I think that's going to be it. Fan of Waves. That's alright. We have more energies, but I think that's going to be it. 150. Dude, that doesn't knock out our active. You know what? That's fine. Let's go ahead and knock out theirs. Oh. There's the scoop, man. Never give up, never surrender. Man, what a comeback. Alright, nice. We got a really good opening hand here. We have Snorlax to go into the active, Sobble. We have Mimikyu to stop my opponent from healing their bench, and 2 ZIGZAGOONs. Don't play ZIGZAGOON in your setup, okay? Because you need to be able to use that Headbutt Tantrum during your turn. And we are playing against a Malamar deck, which is a pretty popular single prizer deck as well. It only uses 1 energy to attack, and depending on how many Rapid Strike cards you have on hand, the attack of Malamar can deal huge amount of damage. It can even 1-hit KO VMAXs in the game. So really powerful card. We are hitting for weakness against it though, but it is going to be a little bit hard to counter when you have to build up stage 2s while our opponent only deals with stage 1s. Let me just grab another Sobble here, and I could probably set up one ZIGZAGOON for the meantime and deal 1 damage counter on their Inkay, and I'm just gonna Gormandize. Dude, look at all those Drizzles. Look at all those Drizzles. So we can actually start attacking on our next turn. We can grab Rare Candy, we can grab Evolution Incense and Obstagoon, scoop up our Snorlax, and then attack this Inkay. Or if they evolve into Malamar, that's going to be fine, because once they remove the cards from their hand, because when you attack, you actually have to shuffle the cards back to the deck. So that limits their hand size, which means it could limit what they could do in their next turn. They're going to use Shauna. Okay, that's an interesting card to include in the Malamar deck. But yeah, one of the things that actually makes it dangerous is that Octillery which they just evolved. And I have access to Boss's Order, so I might just have to target that in the next few turns, because it actually is the one that drives the Malamar deck. And it could just draw, or it can find a Rapid Strike card from the deck, which actually helps Malamar a lot. So I actually might have to target that first before anything else. They have Octillery again, but they don't have its basic, so they're gonna try and attack here. And let's see, they have 4, and they do manage to knock out our Snorlax for 160 damage. But they're going to be able to find more cards. And the Chinchino engine is actually really good too. So I'm going to go ahead and promote my ZIGZAGOON. We get a Rare Candy. Let me chip damage their Octillery, because we're going to attack that next time. And let me get an Evolution Incense so I can evolve into my Obstagoon. Yeah, the Wicked Ruler Obstagoon, I think it's not going to be useful with this one, because every time they attack, they're just going to shuffle all the cards back to their hand. I think I'm just going to target this Octillery first, because that just might disrupt their ability to draw into more cards. I'll use Shady Dealings. I could use Inteleon in the next turn as well. And then I'll scoop this up, that way I can use another Shady Dealings in my next turn. I'm just gonna knock out this Octillery for 150 damage, so that could slow them down, especially if they have 1 card left in their hand. And that might just prevent this Malamar from dealing enough damage to knock out our Obstagoon. But yeah, Chinchino is really good at drawing cards as well. I hope they don't find any supporter cards, that's the thing, because if they do, that's just going to fill their hand with a lot of cards, allowing it to attack for a lot of damage. We do have a lot of options though in our next turn. We have Rare Candy and Evolution Incense. So if we want to, we can evolve into a Galarian Obstagoon and continue to attack. And we also have Shady Dealings, and just find another support card. They have Karina's Focus, which actually draws them into 4 more cards. So they might just have what they need here to knock out our Obstagoon. And that's what makes Malamar really dangerous. You're going to use Fog Crystal. Yes. Okay, they're going to grab another energy. They're going to attach that to their benched Inkay. Let's see what they got here. Alright. Oh, that's, yeah. That's enough. That's enough cards to knock out Obstagoon. They're left with nothing. Chinchino can't actually draw cards unless you discard one, but given that they were able to take a prize, they can draw 2 cards in the next turn. So there goes our Obstagoon. We're just going to have to evolve into another one. And what I'm gonna do here is actually grab another ZIGZAGOON, because I will need to set up for another Obstagoon moving forward. And I'll chip away at that Inkay in the bench, use Shady Dealings, and I'm gonna get Professor's Research. That way I can draw into more cards, and maybe I can set up even further during this turn. Alright, we got really good pulse with that one actually. Let me use ZIGZAGOON and chip away at their Inkay. If I can get a quick shooting Inteleon evolved, I could probably knock it out just by chipping away at their at the HP of that Inkay. Just gonna thin out my deck, grab a Snorlax. I might be able to use its Gormandize, but I'm just gonna attack here and knock out their active for 300 damage. And we're gonna get a Scoop Up Net from our prize. I can use that to reuse my Shady Dealings, but my opponent needs an evolution for Malamar. They're gonna use Ordinary Rod, but they also have access to Chinchino, so they can draw into a supporter card. I hope they don't have a supporter card, and once we knock out this Inkay, all we have to do is take care of that Chinchino, and we should be good to go. But nope, they had Korrina's Focus on hand all along as their last card. That draws them into 6 cards. And they've already used up 2 Korrina's Focus. But you know what? I'm glad I was able to take care of their Octillery early on in the game. And that actually might have just slowed them down a little bit. But they do get their Malamar. They need 5 Rapid Strike cards here to knock out our Obstagoon. Because 4, 8, 12, 16... yeah, they need 5 cards. Nope, they only have 4. 160 damage. Not quite enough to knock out our Obstagoon. Which is okay with me. That actually saves us from evolving into another one. So we will be able to knock out this active. But let me scoop up this Drizzile so I can reuse Shady Dealings on my next turn. And I could probably grab another Evolution Incense. We have Rare Candy. Not much to do here, so I'll probably just knock out their active. Get another prize for that. At least we're ahead in prize. Get a Hiding Energy. So again, they're down to their last card while they drew into another one. But hopefully they don't have any more supporter card, but they do. They have Shauna. Yeah, they actually have a really good consistency with their deck. They're gonna use Great Ball. The fact that they're able to use supporter cards almost every turn is actually really good. And that Chinchino's Make Do ability really helps with that as well. Actually, that's a really good combo. Chinchino, Octillery. And I'm just really amazed at my opponent because he's able to set up a Malamar almost every turn. He just puts an Inkay in the bench, and then once we knock out their Malamar, they have another Malamar ready to go. Unlike us, we are actually dependent on our rare candies to get more Obstagoon. Okay, they have one, and that's all they need to knock out our Obstagoon. That's fine. But at least we have a backup attacker now. We're able to knock out this Malamar in their active. And we get a Pierce from the top deck, which is really nice. And I can actually bench my Snorlax. Evolve into Drizzile. And I'm going to use Shady Dealings and get my Evolution Instance. I could use Professor's Research or even the Galarian Chestplate to actually increase my defense. But I think I'm going to focus on Inteleon because we actually need this to deal a lot of damage to our opponent. And let me use a Pierce then. We don't have any more of the Obstagoon with a Merciless Strike attack. So I'm going to settle with this Galarian Obstagoon and 1 energy. And I'll evolve into this Obstagoon. Might be able to disrupt them at some point. And I'll just quick shooting at their active And I'm just gonna use Merciless Strike to knock it out. Yeah, we're just gonna continue up with this. We're just gonna continue with this. It's pretty much the same thing. They knock out our Obstagoon, we knock out theirs, and just go with the cycle. We do get a Galarian Chestplate, which might be able to help us out, because if they fall short on how many Rapid Strike cards they have on hand, our Obstagoon might just survive an attack or two. And all we need is 2 more prizes anyways. They do get an Evolution Incense for a Malamar, but again, they will need 5 cards on their hand to shuffle into the deck. But they're left with 2 and they're not even able to attack because they have no energy. And there's the scoop. Man, good game. Alright, moving on to the next match. I'm going to start with a Sobble. And I have all the elements to actually evolve into an Obstagoon. We just need a ZIGZAGOON to start. Okay, cool. We get a level ball from the top deck, so I can actually grab a ZIGZAGOON. And then I can put 1 damage counter on their active. And I'm just gonna pass. So I can attack for 150 damage next turn. So we're up against Single Strike Urshifu VMAX build, which is pretty straightforward. They're gonna use Laser Focus. And they are gonna get 2 energies onto their Urshifu V. I'm gonna use this level ball that we got from our top deck, which is actually really good. Just get a Drizzile. I can use its Shady Dealings ability. And what I need to do is start setting up for another attacker. So I'll get Evolution Incense, and then... Actually, I can use Galarian Chestplate to add extra defense to our Obstagoon. They might not be able to knock it out. But you know what? If they have Houndoom, they just might knock out our active. So I'll just get an Evolution Incense. I think it's the safer option. I'll evolve into Obstagoon. And then I'm going to use Pierce, grab another ZIGZAGOON, and an energy. I'll get the Hiding Energy. And I'll put 1 damage on Houndour, attach this on my other ZIGZAGOON, switch Obstagoon, and then I can attack the active for 150 damage. But you know what? If they don't have the VMAX to evolve, I can actually prevent it from attacking. So I can actually use Silence here. And then prevent them from using Impact Blow. I was hoping to actually add more damage to that for the chip damage so I can knock it out in the next few turns, but the Stone Energy actually increases its defense, so I don't think that was a good idea to use Silence, although they might not be able to attack here. But then again, they have Bird Keeper, so they will switch out their active and evolve into Houndoom. And that's okay, actually. If they are not able to retreat this Houndoom, they could just get stuck, and then that could give us a little time to set up our other Sobble and maybe another Obstagoon line. All we need is actually to just 2-hit KO this Single Strike Urshifu VMAX, because all we need is to set up Inteleon, and each time they use Houndoom, they're gonna put damage counter. They're gonna use Escape Rope. I have no choice but to switch into ZIGZAGOON because I will need the Shady Dealings and the Inteleon line moving forward. And they're just gonna knock out our ZIGZAGOON, just like that. So I'll just promote my Galarian Obstagoon again. We get a Sobble from the top deck. I'll use Evolution Incense, and I'll just get a Quick Shooting Inteleon. And then I'm gonna use Marnie. Alright, we get another Sobble, and we have Level Ball. That will enable us to get another ZIGZAGOON from the deck. So at least all we need to do is knock out the 1 VMAX, and we should be able to get 3 prizes. And I'll just continue to chip away at their active. Hopefully that's going to give them enough damage. I'm going to use Merciless Strike here. So they have 200 cumulative damage right now. We just need to hit it for 130 more damage to knock it out. And I don't know if I should use Ordinary Rod. I'll use that one. I could probably use that one once they knock out my Obstagoon. Okay, they're setting up another Urshifu V on the bench. 40 damage on it already. And that actually sets it up for us, because now our Obstagoon can just hit it for 150 damage. And my opponent's gonna Marnie, which I actually don't mind because I was gonna use Professor and I didn't want to discard my hand. We drew into a Drizzile, which is actually really good. I can just grab a rare candy, evolve into another Obstagoon in my next turn. Although the one on hand is not what I need right now, but it could come in handy later on. But they're gonna use the Scroll of Scorn to knock out our Obstagoon, and I was actually hoping that they would use the VMAX one blow and discard all their energy, but now we're in trouble. I'm just gonna use Shady Dealings here. See what I could do. Can let's see. I could get an Evolution Incense. We have energy. I can just knock out their active, but then if I do that, they're just gonna knock out my Obstagoon, and then I could get trapped. You know, I'll just get a quick ball, I think. Discard this, I'll get a Snorlax. I'm just gonna stall for one turn. They'll need 3 prizes after this one anyways. I'll just retreat my Zigzagoon, use this quick ball one more, and then get another Zigzagoon, so that way I can have 2 attackers back to back moving forward. Chip away at their active, and I'll just continue to chip away at their active. Maybe I can knock it out by just putting chip damage on it. And I'm just gonna Gormandize this turn. Alright, cool. As long as they don't Marnie me, I think we should be good for the next few turns. I have another Drizzile, so I can get another trainer card from the deck if I need to. I have energy, but most importantly, I can evolve into an Obstagoon and just knock out their active. Or I can even boss and just knock out the Urshifu V on the bench and get 2 prizes that way. Prevent them from setting up another VMAX. And then all the while, I can just chip away at this VMAX and get 5 prizes that way. And maybe they'll get stuck and won't be able to attack for a few turns. Oh man, that Marnie. They always have the Marnie, man. Okay, so that will mess up our hand. Hopefully we don't get stuck here. Okay. They're probably gonna knock out our Snorlax, so we're gonna be behind. If anything, I can evolve into another Inteleon. Quick Shooting. And just continue to deal a lot of chip damage moving forward. So they will knock out my Snorlax. I'll go ahead and put Zigzagoon. I'll probably be able to find a evolution here. Let me use Ordinary Rod, recover these Zigzagoon and this Obstagoon just to make sure we have one on our deck. Get 2 of these energies recycled back, bump out their Stadium, use the Evolution Incense. We don't have the Shady Dealings Inteleon, so that's not good. So I'll just grab what I can here and get the Quick Shooting Inteleon. And I'm just gonna use Professor's Research. Hopefully we draw into something. Okay, cool. We get a Drizzile, so that's good. And we have Obstagoon on hand, so we can actually attack and knock out their active this turn. That professor really saved us, man. So let me evolve this Obstagoon. We have one energy available also, which is really great. And I'm gonna chip away at their benched Urshifu because we're gonna knock out their active anyways. And let me scoop up this guy. I might be able to use Shady Dealings next turn again. And yeah, I'll just continue to chip away at their Urshifu V on the bench. At least the more damage we inflict on that Pokemon, the better, because now we're gonna get 3 prizes off of this Urshifu VMAX. And if they end up evolving into an Urshifu VMAX, then we can actually get the last 3 prizes. And we get the Inteleon, so we are actually in a really good position right now. So they do decide to evolve into a single strike Urshifu VMAX, which is actually good for us. Because now all we have to do is knock it out, and then we should be able to get our last 3 prizes. They have Scroll of Scorn, but they can't use it because they have Air Balloon on their Urshifu VMAX already. If they attack with the first attack, they're only going to deal 160 damage, so that's not going to be enough to knock out our Obstagoon. They will have to use the G-Max 1 blow to knock it out, but that means they'll discard all that energy, and that will leave their VMAX open in their active. So if they do knock out our Obstagoon, we can just use Drizzile, get a rare candy, and evolve into another Obstagoon. And we have enough supporter cards to help us find an energy from our deck. So I think we're good. But let's see what my opponent does. If they knock out our Obstagoon, and then we can just keep using the quick shooting Inteleon to lower the HP of their active. Evolve into an Obstagoon, attack. And in terms of the price exchange, we should be able to actually win this one. Because they'll have to knock out 3 Pokemon. All we need to do is knock out this one. And they have 1 card left on their hand, so... But they're going to use Beatdown, and it's not even enough to knock out our Obstagoon, so we actually get a free attack this turn. But what I'm going to do here is set up my Obstagoon. Oh, we don't have any more rare candies. So I'll just get the next best thing. Just get a Galarian Chestplate. And actually that's a problem, because now we can't attack the next turn. Let me just continue to chip away at this VMAX then, and go from there. Yeah, I think I'll just use Marnie. Maybe we can get a Linoon and then just... there's a Linoon, okay. We can probably evolve slowly. We can still evolve into an Obstagoon on the next turn, so... And I'll just use Merciless Strike to deal 150 damage, leaving this single strike Urshifu VMAX with 30 HP left. And at this point, I think we win this game because there's no way my opponent can get 3 prizes this turn. And all we need to do is use Quick Shooting to knock out their VMAX and get our last 3 prizes. And yeah, Obstagoon is actually really good. All you need to do is get access to the rare candies, evolve into stage 2s, and attack for just 1 energy. And dealing those chip damage is actually really simple with a Quick Shooting and pre-evolution ZIGZAGOON, so pretty easy to use. Very cost-effective attack for 150, which is not too bad. And against our opponent, I guess that's where it differentiates between the strength and weakness. I think Single Strike Urshifu VMAX is strong against other VMAXs because it can literally one-hit KO any Pokemon in the game, while Rapid Strike can target multiple targets. So against 1 prizers, it really does champion over them, although it doesn't deal enough damage, so a lot of VMAXs can tank hits from Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX. So I think we had the upper hand on this one. They're going to retreat their Urshifu, but that doesn't matter. There's no escape to our quick shooting ability, so they're gonna Marnie again. Yeah, that's gonna be game for this one. Yeah, despite our opponent using VMAX, they were no match for our Obstagoon. They're gonna knock it out, but that's gonna be game. All we need to do is use quick shooting. We can get an Obstagoon here. We get an Obstagoon. All right, good game. Obstagoon is pretty awesome. One dark energy is all it takes to overcome its foes. It can stop its opponents from its tracks by disabling their attacks, and with the help of its pre-evolution Galarian ZIGZAGOON's headbutt tantrum ability and INTELEON's quick shooting ability to deal some chip damage on your opponent's Pokemon, Obstagoon can easily strike for 150 damage every time. Overall, Obstagoon is an exceptional Stage 2 Pokemon that can best even the toughest opponent. Consistency does become an issue with this build, however, because it is a Stage 2 Pokemon, and it can definitely be a hassle evolving one after another. While it doesn't have anything more interesting going for it, it is a powerful, straightforward attacker nonetheless. And that's it for the video. If you enjoyed this video, please smash the like button, let me know in the comments below what you think of this build and the gameplay, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching the Popsicle Night channel, and as always, stay safe and have a great day.